What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Jenks and Hammer podcast. We got special guest today, Big B, big diehard Packers fan, co-host of Underage Packers podcast, and you can also follow him on Twitter at BigPackers4X. And we're excited to have him on. He had a special opportunity to spend some time with the team last year, with the Packers, and with Aaron Rodgers. So let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
Welcome to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast, bringing you the latest NFL news and insights from the perspectives of two die-hard fans. So sit back, relax, and get ready for some football talk with Jenks and the Hammer.
And here we go. Joining us now is a die-hard Packer fan. They call him Big B. Bring him in.
All right, here you go. What's up, Big B? How's it going, bud?
How's it going?
What do you like? What do you prefer being called to, Big B or Brandon?
Big B.
Yeah, Big B, whatever you feel like it.
I like it. How'd you get the nickname?
One of my friends in like third grade just started calling me it, and it just kind of stuck. And then when I came into the Packers blogosphere, I was like, this is like the only nickname I have, so might as well just use it.
I respect it. Yeah, I like
That's
it.
awesome. All right. Well, first question we're going to ask is, how'd you become a Packer fan?
Well, I am from the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, so Wisconsin's legit just right there, and everybody up here is Packer fans, and my entire family is Packer fans, so I kind of just got born into the Packer culture. And plus, my grandpa has Packer season tickets, so I go to a lot of games.
That's awesome. You go to a lot of games?
Yes, I go to, I think, 3 to 4 every year, depending on what tickets we get and stuff.
That's awesome. That you were born into it too and everything. So my dad's a 49ers fan. My mom was like a Dolphins fan. My older sister's an Eagles fan. So we're like all over.
Spread out.
And I had to fight, and I picked the right team, and I'm happy with it. Of course. But let's talk about the experience you had. Right, you had an opportunity to like spend a day with the Packers last season. Spend a day kind of with Aaron Rodgers, and talk about that.
Yeah, so if you don't know, I'm assuming majority of people probably watching this probably don't know that I got diagnosed with cancer in 2020, so I had the opportunity to have a Make-A-Wish. So my Make-A-Wish was to meet Aaron Rodgers and also tour the facility and stuff in Lambeau Field. And finally last year for the Cowboys game, I went to Green Bay for my Make-A-Wish finally after all the COVID restrictions and stuff got uplifted and we could actually finally do it. And during the Make-A-Wish, of course, I broke the news that Aaron Rodgers had a broken thumb. That was a big thing. Got mentioned on NFL big Network thing. And Pat McAfee show.
There you go.
Stuff like that,
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. And what a game to go to, right?
Yeah.
Not bad. That's awesome.
And
so during
Aaron Rodgers' last season too. So right before he leaves.
Yeah. A great game. But you kind of went during like, what was it like? What was the vibe like? Because you were there kind of like during like a tough time for Green Bay. You know what I mean? We were struggling. We got that Cowboys win, but the season didn't start the way we wanted to. Yeah,
the vibe was good. I think it was just because mostly the Cowboys were in town.
That's true.
And they're a big NFC opponent. Mike McCarthy's return home, first time since being fired. So the vibe was electric.
Good. It's good to hear.
Yeah, getting right in from that. So I'm a big Saints fan, if you didn't know. I'm a huge Saints fan, diehard. And big week 3 matchup this upcoming season. Hammer and I have talked, like we might think about going, but it's not really great timing. So we're not going to be able to do that most likely. But first of all, what are your thoughts on that game? How do you think that's going to go? And are you possibly going to go to that game and be there in person?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to that game, mostly because my guy Jamal Williams is now a Saint, so I can't.
Hell yeah. Love that guy. He's great for the energy, too, on the team. Great for the energy.
He helped change the culture in Detroit, so I'm assuming Saints fans are absolutely in love with him already. If you're not, I don't know what the hell you're doing, what the hell you're watching, because he's just amazing. But I fully expect the Packers to win, of course. I mean, if I said they would lose, of course. I mean,
you gotta predict your team. I get it.
Yeah. But all right, so we're talking Packers Saints, right? I saw your Twitter. The Rodgers Breeze debate. I mean, we know you're gonna say Rodgers, but just tell Grayson the facts. Like we're talking 4-time MVP to none. We're talking, I think
1-to-1
the
in rings
talent. Nah, forget the rings.
and stats as well.
Because Drew Brees is a stat patter.
He's not a stat patter. He backs it up.
I'm not getting into
Dude,
this.
if you go 29 for 31 in an NFL game, you're pretty damn good. When he had 4 touchdowns in that game as well. Like that's not stat padding. He's just a dog at throwing the football. Like, I don't know what else to say.
But Big B, tell him how better. Like, come on, Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers is the most gifted quarterback in NFL history. I mean,
of all time.
Come on now. Then I don't think the Saints made 8 consecutive playoff appearances with Drew Brees. So,
but then, what came out of the playoffs?
We don't talk about that. What came out of them playoff appearances, but
that's the one thing that Packers and Saints fans have in common. A lot of heartbreaks in the playoffs. A lot of heartbreaks.
Yeah. Being a Saints and Packers fan isn't too pleasant during the 2010s, especially. Especially with Drew and Aaron Rodgers. Like we talk about the GOATs and like just witnessing like how good they were every single regular season, and then like it wasn't necessarily their fault in the playoffs every single time, but like something would happen in the playoffs. It just sucked as 2 GOATs, possibly top 5. How much bolstered their like how much higher up on people's minds they would be if like they got a couple more rings in them.
Yeah. Tough. So speaking about that, right, we're talking about playoffs and everything. As a Packer fan, best experience, best like moment, game, and what's your worst experience as a Packer fan?
Oh boy, going to games or just overall?
Overall.
Overall, yeah.
Oh boy, this is tough. The best experience I've had is probably the 2019 Seattle playoff game. That's my first playoff game I ever went to, and right after the game, it was like a complete blizzard out, and it was just awesome. Absolutely magical. The worst is probably the Tampa championship game. That was brutal. I don't even have the words. I still don't have the words to describe that game. Also, honorable mention to the 49ers game just a couple years ago, because I absolutely lost it after that game. I was for sure thought we were going to the Super Bowl.
I know. That was your year.
Hammer, you were there, right?
So
I think Hammer was there.
The first time I went to a Packer game happened to be 2021 Packers-Niners in the divisional round. First time going to Green Bay, right? Because me and my dad went because he was a Niner fan. I mean, we went for 3 days. Yeah, and the first 2 days, right, we're experiencing everything, taking the tour. It's amazing town, so much history, right? I mean, it's a dream. And Sam Shields and Morgan Burnett, they were in the building, like signing autographs for everyone. So I got their autographs too. And yeah, it was awesome until the game. That was terrible.
Yeah.
And you know what? We were up the whole time, and block punt. Stupid.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah, I was at the dorm, John, and I'm sitting there watching the game, and I'm like, Hammer and I were roommates, and John, I'm sitting there, I know he's at the game, watching that. I think I texted him. I think I might have let him air it out a little bit because I knew if I texted him right then and there,
yeah, I was gonna kill you.
Yeah, but I remember just sitting there like, oh, this guy just went and witnessed probably like the worst game ever in a long time for the Packers as offense, at least, and
yeah,
I just felt bad.
Last game with Devontae Adams, brutal. Yeah, but what you gonna say something?
No, you go.
But let's move on. All right. Yeah. So, Big B's Twitter. It's an awesome Twitter. Make sure you go follow it. It's Big Packers 4X. It's fun Twitter, especially if you're a Packer fan. A lot of good stuff on it. So, first pinned picture, him and Aaron Rodgers by Super Bowl 45 trophy. So that's pretty awesome. I gotta imagine that's your background for everything, right?
Yeah, that's majority of my stuff. Is that?
Yeah.
I can imagine. I mean, how was it? Like, how was Aaron Rodgers in person? Like, what was that? What were the conversations like with him? What did you guys talk about? How was it?
Oh yeah, he's one of the nicest people I've ever met. He has such a great personality. When you're around him, you feel like you've known him forever, and you just feel comfortable around him. and we talked about legit everything. Like, what do you want to do when you grow up? Like, what job do you want? Like, your school, your favorite subject, music, like anything you can think of. I had such an amazing time talking to him, and I wish I could experience that again, but unfortunately I can't. And that's when I wish I had a time machine.
Yeah. Go back and witness that.
So he's with the Jets now, and I live in New Jersey. So now he's playing 25 minutes away from my house. So maybe we run into each other at the mall. I don't know. Stop and shop. I don't know.
But what are your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers? Like when he left, what was going through your head? Was there any animosity towards him, or were you just kind of like, yeah, he's moving on, like it's that point of his career? What were you thinking?
To be honest, I was so happy when he got traded, because I was just so over it, and I already expected it to happen, and I just wasn't expecting it to happen when it came on my phone that it actually happened. So I was very excited, also kind of sad at the same time, because he's been our quarterback for 18 years now, 18 seasons, and I was just so ready for the Jordan Love era. And it's no more drama, no more ayahuasca, no more any of that stuff anymore.
I know. I mean, it was like, it's so tough. But you know what? I mean, they dragged it out for 3 years now, right?
Yeah.
And at that point, you're just like, I love the man. I grew up with him. He's the reason I love the Packers. I love football. But it was just like, it was about time. And you're excited for Jordan Love. And on top of that, I like the trade. Right? It was a good trade. I thought Green Bay got, good picks in return. So.
Yeah, it was just time for both sides to move on, and I think it was maybe a year too late, possibly, but I'm glad both sides got what they wanted at the end of it.
Yeah, definitely. So back to your Twitter. So scrolling down, speaking of my favorite player, Aaron Rodgers, I saw why do you love, what player made you fall in love with the game, right? And it's Aaron, of course. Another one is Clinton Dix.
Yeah.
So kind of explain that. That's kind of just, it's just not a random, kind of a random one. It's like, it's out there.
Yeah. So when I was a kid, our neighbor, I used to call her Ha. And the night that we drafted Clinton Dix, my grandpa called me and said that we drafted this kid called Clinton Dix. And I absolutely fell in love with him from that moment. And I'm like, I'm going to start watching football now. I have to root on Clinton Dix.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I really got into Packers football.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's really 2014. Yeah. That's awesome, though. He was a good player for 2-3 years. And then
what happened to him? Where did he end up after that? I think, didn't he go like Giants or something?
He went to Dallas.
Washington, he got traded to.
Washington,
Yeah. That's where he went first.
Yeah.
He went, I know he spent time with Dallas. I think he spent some time in San Fran, too.
Chicago, I know.
Chicago, yep.
Season.
Yeah.
So did he just kind of get washed out of the league, or?
Yeah. Which is disappointing because it was 2016, run the table year. Yeah, he had 5 picks. He was Pro Bowl. He was second team All Pro, and just fell off. 2 picks in the 2014 NFL NFC Championship game. I know. I'm done bringing up the game. We're not talking about it anymore. But funny name. Yeah, I mean, he was a good player. But I found that interesting. And then the other one I found, you kind of had like appreciation tweet to Kevin King.
Yeah,
Kevin King is for Packer fans, it's a rough subject, to bring up. Kevin King. I mean, when we drafted him, I love the pick. It was awesome. We got him the first pick of the second round. Talk about a guy who's got everything: 6'3", lengthy, runs a 4.3, 4.4, speedy, and he had a good development. He was getting better every year. 2019, he had 5 picks, and then talk about after that, just the most inconsistent player of all time. I mean, I feel like 1 week he's doing good, right? Probably gets a pick, makes a couple of nice tackles. Next one, he's whiffing on everything. He's blowing coverages, and then we all know the 2020 NFC Championship game. So kind of talk about your love for Kevin King.
Yeah, well, I'm that type of fan that when the whole fan base absolutely hates a player, I absolutely take him in and defend him against every single soul on the internet.
So
So
does
that
that
was
count?
my job for like a
Does
few
that
years.
does that count? Does that count Amari Rodgers?
Yes, that does count Amari
Wow,
Rodgers. Jordan
that's a
Love,
lot.
legit anybody else you can possibly think of, minus like Jake Hansen or Royce Newman, because I cannot stand them, and I hope they never play on the offensive line again for the Green Bay Packers in the regular season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No injuries to the O-line this year. We don't need
Correct.
Newman. Yeah, but that's interesting. Even Amari Rodgers, really? Like 8 fumbles in 2 years?
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of wild for that one, but I think if Randall Cobb didn't get traded, I think he might have actually been a very good player on the offense.
Think so?
Like, hear me out, call me crazy, but I actually think that, and the Texans got a hell of a player.
Yeah. I mean, he made that one play against Dallas right when he got like released, right? He got picked up, and then he had this one big touchdown catch against Dallas. But yeah, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I know Amari Rodgers and Randall Cobb were like, they knew each other growing up, right? Like,
yes,
something like that. Yeah. So
yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
All right, Hammer, you out of Twitter questions? Was that you got?
That's
one more?
it. That's it. Make sure to go follow Big B.
Yeah. Make sure to do that.
Content.
So outside of Packers, we're going to jump into recent news that happened today. D-Hop signed with the Titans, which it was kind of a lingering thing. Like, he visited with them and it went over really well, but then he didn't sign like right away. Then a couple weeks passed, and now we get news that he recently just signed. I think it was 13 mil, 2 years, or 13 mil a year for 2 years.
2 years, 26 mil. Yep.
Yeah. And I just want to hear your thoughts. Do you think that's a good move, bad move? What are your thoughts?
I don't even know, other than D-Hop, I don't know like any Titans wide receivers that are like decent even. Yeah, Treylon Burks, but he really hasn't been very good since they drafted him. Mm-hmm. But I think it's a good move for the Titans, but I mean that's where good receivers go to die, is Tennessee. Like Randy Moss, somebody else I think went there who was very good for many, many years. But I think DeAndre Hopkins still has a lot left in the tank. I think he can be very decent, but I also wouldn't be surprised if he's another Julio Jones.
Yeah, and I mean
Julio,
yeah. The thing I don't get is he was talking like, "Oh, I want a good quarterback."
I know, but he was in the media. He was in the media too. He was like, kind of like, "Hey, Chiefs, Bills, give me a call. Like, let's make this happen."
But the Bills went and said like, "We'll gladly take him on the team, but we're gonna have to pay him less." And then he goes and signs with the Titans for more money, I'm assuming, than what they were offering. So, I mean, it's kind of like you were saying you wanted all these things, but in the end, it came down to money most likely. And it just is like,
I mean, not even. I don't know, 13 mil? Like, when
it's probably more than most teams.
When I first saw it, I was like, D-Hop's just going for that payday. And then it's only 13 mil for D-Hop. I get he's old, but like, you got like Devontae's getting paid 30. You know, it's just like 13. I don't know. I wonder what the Chiefs and Bills offered him, you know?
I think it has some bonuses in there as well, like incentives. Yeah. But it's definitely like a weird move.
Yeah, it definitely
makes sense.
Definitely.
I think it's a fair contract at the end of the day, because you don't really know what he is, but you're still hoping he can go out. So you need a wide receiver. So I'm assuming that's a fair contract for both parties.
Yeah, and it's like it's one of those things that's like the Titans. They have Ryan Tannehill. They have Will Levis, and now they have Malik Willis as well, or Malik Willis and Ryan Tannehill, sorry. And it's like you have these quarterbacks. Ryan Tannehill's on the way out 100%. Then you have these two young guys that are like, you don't know what either of them are. Like, they're both kind of iffy guys. Didn't do much in college. Both of them were kind of just didn't do much in college, but had high ceilings, if that's what you want to say. But you need a receiver for those young guys to throw to as they're coming into their own. So
definitely
it's a good move.
Yeah, great move for the Titans QBs. And let's look at fantasy. Who wants D-Hop in fantasy? I don't. Like, no. I mean, I really just plummeted, right? I mean, you got the run game with Derrick Henry. You got, I think crappy QB play. You know, it's probably in the future for the Titans. And D-Hop's a little old. I mean, geez, I'm not going near him in fantasy now.
Yeah.
You know, so. And then if you had to, because, fantasy football, we're starting to get into that. You know, it's that time of the year. who's your one like must watch or must get player in fantasy football this year for you?
For me, well, of course, Jamal Williams, but
Williams.
probably also Christian Watson. I think he's going to be target number 1 for Jordan Love. He's just a stud. Like, he's going to show out this year. I guarantee that he's going to be so much better than last year, and that's a scary thought for the NFL.
Yeah. It's
I
exciting.
mean, Hammer texted our fantasy football group chat this morning
I did.
that it's a what if he caught that week 1 pass. It was like, what was it? Like a 50-yard pass, and you just like whiff. Did he whiff or did it bounce off his hands?
I
think it
dropped the ball.
Yeah, I think it just fell through his hands.
Yeah. So Hammers said, what would have happened if he caught that ball? But I mean, I don't think it would have changed much.
I think it would have. Dude, that drop set him back 9 weeks. Like, he would just like after that, he wasn't in the Packers offense anymore. They were just doing jet sweeps to him. They didn't trust him like to throw the ball to him. And they worked him in slowly, giving him a couple of screens. He's doing decoy stuff, and then that Dallas game popped off. But I'm just saying, like, that set him back. And hey, did we win that game? Maybe. Hey, and 1 game away, we're in the playoffs now. You know what I mean? Just saying. Yeah. That one drop, just what did I say? Exactly. I said if Christian Watson caught that first pass on the first play of the season for a touchdown, where would we be as a society? Biggest what if in NFL history. Oh yeah. Tell you. I don't know. The world would be different if Christian caught that pass.
You never know.
It would.
From a Saints fan, I can name.
I don't know. Maybe Aaron's got 2 Super Bowls. I don't know. Maybe Christian Watson's Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
All right, you're looking into it a little bit much.
I'm not.
I think, yeah.
I think this is fair to think about. Okay.
I think it is too.
I think you can think about it, but I don't think it's the biggest what if in NFL history.
I think so. As a Packer,
you can name.
I got a million as a Packer fan.
Yeah, Saints and Packers fans.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know. All right. So speaking of this season, or fantasy, we're talking about this season. What are your expectations for the Packers this year? What are we gonna do with Jordan Love?
I'm expecting better quarterback play, way better, or a little bit better than Aaron Rodgers from last year. I expect Jordan Love to exceed that a little bit, and our goal should be make the playoffs. Yeah. I'm thinking we'll have a record that will contend for a wild card spot. But our goal going into the season for everybody should be we have to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, just seeing development from the entire offense, Jordan Love, the chemistry between Jordan Love and the wide receiver core, that's really all we can hope for because this is pretty much a wash season as it is. And pretty much just a developmental season for legit everybody on the offensive side of the football. And hopefully our defense will turn it around and actually be consistent for once. But, of course, Joe Barry is the defensive coordinator, so I don't know how much that will actually come true. And just hope for the playoffs at the end of the day and the offense to develop.
Yeah, and I think that's realistic, right? You look at the division, it's wide open.
Yeah.
I think the 2 best teams got to be us and the Lions, right? Minnesota lost a lot. The Bears, say what you want, they held them the 1 pick last year for a reason, right? You're not this playoff contending team now because I got Tremaine Edmonds. Woohoo! Like that's not how this works.
Yeah.
And it sounds crazy, but I think it's realistic too. When you're like, oh, I think Jordan Love's gonna have a better year than Aaron Rodgers. That's like crazy to say, but like Aaron had a bad year.
Yeah.
He was not himself. And you know what? With Jordan Love now, under center, it's like Matt LaFleur can really call his offense, right? It's not like Rodgers is playing a hero ball, chucking it deep, 4th and 1, stuff like that. It's going to be way different, and it's going to be easier for Jordan Love, and like not easier for Jordan Love, but it's going to be. I feel like we're going to see like a kind of like a new offense, truly. Just like the balance and everything.
Yeah, so, I got a few things. I got a few things I got to say about that.
One thing we have to keep in mind too is Jordan Love is not a rookie QB. He's been in the league for 3 years. Yeah. He's been in the system for 3 years. He's been behind the greatest thrower of the football for 3 years. Like we have to factor that in.
Well, okay, here's the thing. Packers are getting like the 3 seed. I think they're getting the 3 seed. Okay, I'm gonna do this from an outside. This is an outside perspective.
3 seed what? In the
3 seed of the division. This is an outside perspective here.
Okay.
Right, because I like Packers fans. You guys are obligated. You have to gotta
just being real. Like, look at the roster. It's a good roster.
It's a good roster, but you lost Aaron Rodgers, and you guys didn't make the playoffs last year. So I think here's my thing. I think this is a great season for you guys to develop, like Big B said. Like, this is a big development season, and you get to see what Jordan Love really is. Second of all, the Bears did get a lot better. They also got DJ Moore, and they also got TJ Edwards and a couple other guys. I don't think they're going to be playoff contenders, but that's another team that now in the division is a little bit tougher than they were a season ago. Then also, as a Saints fan, I got to witness going from Drew Brees to Jameis Winston, and we were like, oh, Jameis Winston was under Drew Brees for a year or two, and we're like, there's some possibility. Like, we had our hopes high.
Get Jameis Winston. He threw a pick six his first pass in the NFL.
Get into the season.
It's not the same thing.
Get into the season. Jameis Winston leads us to 5 wins. I think we started off the season with 5 wins, and we were like 5-2, 5-3, something like that. And then he gets hurt. Team goes downhill, goes into the gutter, and the recent two years have been trash. So I'm just saying, as a Packers fans, I think you guys are a little bit biased, but also not to get your hopes too high, in case anything bad happens for Jordan Love or anything. If he doesn't show up and be that guy, like everyone thinks he might be.
Cool.
That's all I'm saying. I mean, I don't want to get into a huge heated debate. But...
I know. I'm going for what I say. I said his predictions. I said 25 touchdowns and 13 picks, and I'll stand by that. That's a good year, right? I think you're at on 2-3 rushing touchdowns, and I think that's realistic, and I think that's a good year. And with the talent around him and the coaching, I think that's good enough to get to the playoffs. And when it is. It is.
I agree.
What's your stat line? What would you give Jordan Love?
Oh boy. Let's go.
I'm not saying 30 touchdowns. I'm not gonna be that guy. But let's say 25, something like that.
I'll say 26 touchdowns, 2 rushing. Let's go around 12 interceptions and 3,700 yards passing.
Yeah, I mean, I can see it. I mean, he does have a good.
Oh, now you could see it. Now you could see it.
I've said I could see it. I'm not hating on his. I'm not preying on his downfall, but I don't think they're a playoff team by any chance. I just the NFC got a little bit tougher.
They are a wild card team
easily.
No.
Yeah, dude. They're the number 2 team in the division. Your division's terrible, right? Only one team is making it from your division, right?
Yeah, that's gonna be the Saints. What's your point?
In the East, we're probably getting 2, Philly and the Cowboys, 3. 2, right? We're getting 2.
Maybe the
That's
Giants.
1 wild card. And then the other one, we're probably getting Seattle and San Fran. And it's 3 wild cards. It's going to be Seattle, Green Bay, and Dallas. Who am I forgetting?
Yeah, I think you're forgetting the
Vikings.
Vikings.
Good, dude.
I still think, I don't know what they lost that you think that they're going to go drop off a cliff completely.
They lost a ton.
Yeah, but they're not dropping off a huge cliff. You guys lost Aaron Rodgers, and now you guys are a wild card team versus them who've lost and still have their key players. I don't know. Okay.
They don't. They lost everyone.
We got Big B in here. I don't want to waste his time.
No.
We'll get in.
Hey, I'm invested in this argument. I'm here.
Big B knows. Just look at the roster. They lost Kendricks at linebackers, Darius Smith, Harrison Smith. They're gonna lose Dalvin Cook. They lost Adam Thielen. Didn't they get rid of the tight end too? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe an offensive lineman.
They still got.
Who's the tight end? Irv Smith. Irv Smith. No, Rudolph's on the Giants.
They got Hawkinson now.
Yeah, they got Hawkinson. Did Irv? I think Irv Smith was free agent, right?
The way I look at it now, the second best player on the Vikings offense is CJ Ham, the fullback,
and Jordan Addison too.
Oh, they got Addison. He stinks though.
Madison might be all right. Jordan Addison stinks.
What's he doing against Rasul Douglas? 2 games. I don't know. What's he doing?
We'll see. Come the season, we'll revisit this. Maybe we'll have Big B back on, and we'll talk about this. We'll redo this argument.
Yeah, after week 3 too.
I'll have to.
So we could just team up on you after we win 49-3.
All right,
let's do it.
I'll save this clip.
It's a little comeback from the 2020 season opener.
This clip is gonna be. I'm gonna put it on the next episode.
Save it.
And when I expose you guys and say the Saints just won 30 or whatever we win by,
okay.
I'll put it in there.
All right,
Okay.
tough guy.
Last
Okay.
question. Quick one. We want to ask every guest this because Hammer and I like movies and TV shows and stuff. So what's your favorite movie and what's your favorite TV show?
Okay.
Off the top of your head.
I got the movie. I've been waiting for somebody to ask me this question. It is the Elvis movie. That movie made me fall in love with Elvis, and I've been absolutely obsessed with him. That movie is absolutely phenomenal and one of the best movies I have ever watched.
Lost you for a half a second. You're good.
TV show's tough because I don't really watch many TV shows, but I'm gonna have to go with King of Queens. Watch that a lot.
Oh, who's in that? Who's in that one?
Kevin James and somebody else, and then
I don't think I ever got
Ben Stiller's dad. I think I forgot his name.
I like that Elvis pick though. I haven't heard of the King and Queen, but I like the Elvis pick. That's a great movie.
That is.
Austin Butler. I mean, woo. He
killed it. He killed it.
No, it was definitely good. And then Tom Hanks too. Like everyone was everyone was sleeping on that, and that was a good performance. It was a good movie all around.
It was a good movie.
Yes.
Yeah. I admit too. Like since that movie, like Elvis is on a lot of my playlist. Like I listen to it a lot. It got me into it. So
yeah.
That's good.
I think I've listened to Elvis every day since I went to go see that movie.
Yeah. What's your favorite song?
Oh boy.
Favorite Elvis song.
Favorite Elvis song. I'm gonna go. There's so many options. I'm gonna say Old Reliable, Can't Help Falling in Love.
Can't Help Falling in Love, yeah.
I can agree with that.
You can't go wrong with that.
Yeah. If I Can Dream also is up there as well.
I like that one. I Can Dream.
Yeah.
I think that was a cool scene in the movie too when he does that one.
Which one?
The If I Can Dream. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good scene.
It was awesome. It was awesome. All right. Well, you got any more questions?
No, I think that's it. Thank you, Big B, for coming on, man.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you for having me on. I'm honored to be on here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And you have a podcast, right, as well? It's what's it called again?
Underage Packers Podcast.
All right. Yeah. And I mean, from your Twitter alone, we can see like you guys are like 100 episodes in, and you're working on hard on that. So everyone go. He puts in a lot of effort. Go tune into that podcast. We're an up and coming podcast, so the amount that he's put into that already we respect that. So everyone go tune into that if you get a chance, and we appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah,
of course.
Thank you.
All right, guys, getting right into the outro here. I'm going to do a quick movie Monday review. I went and saw Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1 last night. And I just want to say Tom Cruise struck again. This movie was amazing all the way through. Action scenes throughout. It's a classic Mission Impossible movie. Ham, have you seen any Mission Impossibles? I don't think.
So I haven't seen any, but actually 2 nights ago or 3 nights ago, me and my dad watched the first one. So
you like it?
It was good. I liked it. It was good. It was kind of tough. It was tough to not get into, but it was tough to understand the first half of the movie, and then I got it. Yeah. It was good. I liked it.
Yeah, no, the first one's definitely it's a little bit older too, but it is a little bit confusing. But then once you get further and further in, it just gets better and better. It snowballs.
Yeah. I gotta watch them all before this one.
Marathon.
Is it one of those movies franchise though, where you have to watch? I have to watch all the previous ones before this. Yeah.
I mean, you could do a recap video on YouTube if you really wanted to, but it's I mean, it's not the same. It's definitely not the same, but it's definitely worth watching all of them. They're all great. And this one alone, throughout, the action's great. The acting is great, and the music, the classic Mission Impossible scores throughout it. It's just an awesome movie, and I love Benji and Luther are the two guys that are it's kind of his sidekicks throughout. They're great. And then Haley Atwell as well, Peggy Carter for most people, if you don't know her by her name.
Peggy.
She's in it, and it's every time she comes on the screen, you're instantly oh yeah.
What does that mean?
Dude, you know what it means. It's Haley Atwell.
Creep.
Everyone loves Haley Atwell.
Dude, you have a girlfriend.
Dude, you love Channing Tatum, and you have
Channing Tatum. No.
Nah, we can mess around with it. Anyways, it's just
no.
All jokes.
Wait, is it a movie though? Yeah, but is it a movie though? You have to Is it a movie you have to see in the theater?
Yeah, 100%. So there's a walk from my house, like 10, 15-minute walk. There's the IMAX like museum movie theater.
Okay.
It's a huge screen, great sound. It's awesome. Like the music and the sound is what like you need to go to like a nice theater for alone. I mean, you could watch it like nowadays. Everyone has like 60 to 80-inch TVs in their house, so it's like you can watch movies on the TVs. But it's definitely one to see in a nice theater for sure.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it. But my movie this summer, movie of the year, Barbie. Ryan Gosling comes out this Friday. Jacked up.
You want to see it? You have
of course.
Debut tickets?
Of course, me and my little sister are going to go see it Friday night.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to go see it Saturday. I'm gonna try to do like back to back.
It looks. I like just funny, stupid movies like that, and I like Ryan Gosling. So,
dude, everyone loves Ryan Gosling.
I know.
Everyone. Dude, La La Land, and then his first big movie was like Remember the Titans. So,
yeah,
which is a great movie as well. Anyways, I digress.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Well, this was a good episode. Thank you again, Big B, for hopping on, 100%. Talking about the Packers with me, helping me defend the Packers, with this jerk.
A little bit of bias.
Yeah, we had a blast. Everyone make sure to go check out his podcast, Underage Packers. And any closing thoughts, Jinx?
No, I think that's it. We got the movie talking. I'd let you guys know. You guys
got your movie talking. What?
Yeah, got my movie talk. I mean, you talked about Barbie a little bit. Yeah. Anyways, I love movies like a little bit more
brick
than
by brick.
most people.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll go into the next episode, and hopefully we'll get a new guest on our next episode or whenever. We'll get a big guest for you guys whenever.
Yep. All right. So with that being said, make sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at Jake's Hammer Pod. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube at Jake's Hammer Podcast. If you watch on YouTube, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate it. The views and the likes, the comments, everything. We're having fun doing this. So thank you for supporting us.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thank you for tuning in to the Jenks and the Hammer podcast. Remember to leave a review and follow all of our social media pages at Jenks Hammer Pod for more content. Until next time, who dat? And go Pack Go!